That cereal you poured this morning contains more ultra-processed ingredients than actual food. The chicken nuggets in your freezer are less than 40% chicken. And that yogurt that is marketed as healthy, it has more sugar per serving than a chocolate bar. 12 of the UK's most popular food brands are selling you industrial creations that barely qualify as food. These aren't just unhealthy choices. These are laboratory formulations designed to override your body's natural satiety signals and create dependence that feels like hunger but is actually a manufactured craving. I've spent weeks analysing ingredient lists, speaking to food scientists, and reviewing manufacturing processes. What I've discovered will change how you see every supermarket aisle. Number 3 is marketed to children as a healthy breakfast, but what's actually in the box is nutritionally bankrupt chemical sludge. But this isn't just about fear or exposure. I'll also show you 3 brands that actually get it right and give you simple, practical tips to spot ultra-processed foods instantly, so you know exactly what to avoid the next time you shop. Let's expose the truth right now. Number 12, Pringles. Pringles aren't crisps. Legally, they can't be called crisps in many countries. They're reconstituted potato paste pressed into identical shapes. Dried potatoes make up only 42%. The rest is wheat starch, corn flour, rice flour, maltodextrin, emulsifiers, and MSG disguised as flavor enhancers. Potato flakes get mixed with starches to create dough, pressed into molds, fried and stacked. Every Pringle is the same shape because they're manufactured products, not food. The processing destroys any nutritional value potatoes had. You're eating starches, fats and chemical flavorings. Sour cream and onion flavor contains no sour cream, no onions, just chemical compounds. A tube contains over 30 grams of fat and 1.2 grams of sodium per 100 grams. The combination of fat, salt and MSG creates hedonic eating, where you continue past satiety. Kellogg's invested millions in researching the optimal ratio that makes stopping impossible. That's engineered addiction. But if you think reconstituted potato paste is bad, wait until you see what's actually in the instant noodles students are living on. Number 11. Pot noodle. Pot noodle contains over 2,000 milligrams of sodium. That's 87% of your daily limit in one pot. Add the flavor sachet, and you've exceeded 100%. The noodles are wheat flour fried in palm oil, then dried. This pre-frying is what allows instant preparation, but it means eating noodles saturated in cheap oil, heated to temperatures creating trans fats and oxidized compounds. These degraded fats contribute to arterial plaque and cardiovascular disease. The ingredients list is pure chemicals: monosodium glutamate, disodium inosinate, and disodium guanylate. These are all flavor enhancers designed to make bland noodles taste like something. There's no real chicken in chicken and mushroom, just chicken flavoring from yeast extracts and hydrolyzed proteins. You know how pot noodle has that distinctive chemical smell when you pour in hot water, like it's almost too strong and artificial? That's because it is artificial. The aroma compounds are manufactured to approximate food smells without using actual food. The dehydrated vegetables are nutritionally worthless. They've been dried and stored for months, losing most vitamins. The tiny bits of sweet corn and peas you see are there for appearance, not nutrition. You're eating colored vegetable dust. The problem here is that pot noodle targets students and low-income workers with cheap, convenient meals. The company markets them as fun and easy, using humor in advertising to make people forget they're eating sodium bombs. The price point, around £1 per pot, seems affordable until you realize you're paying for packaging and marketing, not actual food. Regular consumption links to hypertension, cardiovascular issues, and metabolic problems. The sodium content alone makes it dangerous for anyone with blood pressure concerns. Students living on pot noodles are destroying their health for convenience. A single pot noodle provides almost no protein, minimal fiber, and essentially zero vitamins beyond what's been artificially added back. You're filling up on empty calories that spike blood sugar, crash your energy, and leave you hungry again within an hour. If that sodium bomb shocked you, the next brand is even worse because it's marketed specifically to children as a fun, healthy snack. Number 10. Dairy Dunkers. At number 10, Dairy Dunkers. Marketed to children as fun, convenient snacks. What they actually are is a processed cheese product with breadsticks. The cheese isn't cheese. It's processed cheese food made from cheese scraps, milk powder, emulsifiers, and vegetable oils. Real. Cheese melts from the heat. This stuff melts from emulsifiers, allowing oil and water to blend unnaturally. Each Dunker pack contains 4.7 grams of saturated fat and 1.1 grams of salt. That's nearly 20% of a child's daily salt limit in one tiny snack pack marketed for lunchboxes. The breadsticks are made from refined white flour with added sugar, palm oil, and preservatives. Nothing whole grain, nothing nutritious, just empty carbohydrates designed to be dipped in fake cheese. The problem here is that Dairy targets children specifically. The packaging is colourful, the format is fun, and parents trust the Dairy name from their own childhoods. That trust is being exploited to sell children ultra-processed garbage that contributes to obesity and poor nutrition habits. But those cheese dunkers aren't the only British classic poisoning kids. This next brand has been trusted for nearly a century while hiding shocking sugar levels. Number 9. McVitie's Jaffa Cake. Coming in at number 9, Jaffa Cakes, the British classic that's been in homes since 1927, marketed as a light snack or tea time treat. Each Jaffa cake contains 4.4 grams of sugar. A standard pack of 10 contains 44 grams total. That's 11 teaspoons of sugar disguised as innocent biscuits. Eat a pack and you've consumed nearly double your daily recommended sugar intake. The sponge is made from refined flour, sugar, and glucose-fructose syrup. The orange layer is sugar, glucose syrup, modified starch, and orange flavoring, not real oranges. The chocolate coating is sugar, vegetable fats, and cocoa powder, not real chocolate. You know how Jaffa cakes have that distinctive texture, like they're too soft to be biscuits but too firm to be cake? That's modified starches and emulsifiers creating artificial texture. Real cakes made from proper ingredients don't have that strange consistency. The glucose-fructose syrup is particularly concerning. This high fructose sweetener bypasses normal satiety signals, gets metabolized directly by the liver, and contributes to fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and metabolic syndrome when consumed regularly. If 11 teaspoons of sugar disguised as tea time treats concerned you, wait until you hear about the healthy yogurt that's actually worse than donuts. Number 8. Müller Corner Yogurts. At number 8, Müller Corner. Marketed as a convenient, somewhat healthy option with yogurt and fruit or chocolate components. So a single Müller Corner contains up to 20 grams of sugar. That's 5 teaspoons, more than a Krispy Kreme donut, and it's marketed as yogurt, which people associate with health. The fruit compote isn't real fruit. It's fruit pieces cooked with sugar syrup, thickeners, modified starch, and preservatives. Most vitamins are destroyed. You're eating sugar-soaked fruit-flavored gel. The yogurt contains modified cornstarch to create a thick, creamy texture artificially. Real Greek yogurt is thick from straining. Müller yogurt is thickened with starch. The chocolate pieces in some varieties are made with vegetable fats instead of cocoa butter, making them chocolate substitutes, not real chocolate. The problem here is that Müller positions these as relatively healthy. Parents put them in children's lunchboxes, thinking they're providing calcium and protein. They're actually providing a sugar bomb with minimal nutritional value dressed up as health food. But fake fruit yogurt is nothing compared to what's actually in the sausages millions of British families eat every week. Number 7. Richmond Sausages. Coming in at number 7, Richmond Sausages, one of Britain's best-selling sausage brands, owned by Kerry Foods and positioned as affordable family food that everyone can enjoy. Richmond Sausages contain 42% pork. That means 58% is water, rusk, wheat flour, pork fat, and additives. You're eating more filler than actual meat. That's less meat than many budget dog foods contain. The pork comes from intensive farming, where pigs never see daylight, kept in overcrowded facilities, fed grain laced with antibiotics to prevent disease spreading in cramped conditions. The mechanically recovered meat is created by blasting pork carcasses with high-pressure water to remove every scrap of tissue from bones, creating a paste that's then formed into sausages. You know how Richmond sausages have that uniform, smooth texture? Like every bite is the same with no variation? That's mechanically recovered meat paste. Real sausages made from actual pork cuts have texture variation, visible meat fibres, and that slightly irregular appearance real meat should have. The additives include sodium triphosphate to retain water and make the low meat content appear plumper and juicier, sodium metabisulfite as a preservative to extend shelf life, and artificial colourings to make the pale meat paste look appealingly pink and fresh. The sodium content is excessive for what should be a simple meat product. A single sausage contains nearly half a gram of salt, and most people eat 2 or 3 at a meal. The rusk filler is made from wheat flour processed with bleaching agents and improvers. It's there purely to bulk out the sausages cheaply, contributing nothing nutritionally except empty carbohydrates that spike blood sugar. If mechanically recovered meat paste disgusts you, this next brand has been feeding children pure sugar every morning for 70 years while claiming it's breakfast. Number 6. Kellogg's Frosties. At number 6, Kellogg's Frosties, the sugar-coated cereal that's been marketed to British children since 1952, with Tony the Tiger convincing parents it's part of a balanced breakfast. A bowl of Frosties contains 11 grams of sugar per 30 grams serving. That's nearly 3 teaspoons of pure sugar-coating cornflakes. Most children eat larger portions, easily consuming 15 to 20 grams of sugar before school. The cornflakes themselves are made from milled corn that's had the nutritious germ and bran removed, leaving only starchy endosperm. This gets cooked, flattened and toasted, then coated in sugar and synthetic vitamins sprayed onto it to replace what was removed during processing. You know how Frosties turn milk sweet and leave sugary residue at the bottom of the bowl? That's the sugar coating dissolving. You're literally drinking sugar milk after eating sugar-coated, nutritionally void cornstarch. The problem here is aggressive marketing to children. Tony the Tiger, bright packaging, sports sponsorships, all designed to make children demand Frosties. Parents cave because the box says fortified with vitamins, while ignoring that it's fundamentally a sugar delivery system. Kellogg's has fought against restrictions on marketing junk food to children, opposed traffic light labeling that would highlight sugar content, and funded research downplaying links between sugary cereals and childhood obesity. But sugary cereal isn't the only childhood staple that's complete fraud. This next brand has convinced Britain it's selling quality cheese when it's actually selling chemical paste. Number 5. Cathedral City Cheese Slices. Coming in at number 5, Cathedral City Cheese Slices. Britain's number 1 cheese brand sells individually wrapped processed cheese slices. These aren't real cheese. They're processed cheese products made from cheese scraps, milk powder, emulsifiers, preservatives, and colouring. Real cheddar cheese is aged naturally. This is cheese waste reformed with chemicals. Each slice contains emulsifiers like sodium phosphate and polyphosphate that allow the cheese to melt unnaturally smoothly. Real cheese melts with some separation of fat and protein. Processed cheese melts into uniform goo because emulsifiers force oil and water to stay blended. The individual plastic wrapping creates massive waste. Each slice wrapped separately means buying a 200-gram pack generates 20 pieces of plastic waste. Multiply that across millions of households, and Cathedral City is responsible for tons of unnecessary plastic pollution. The taste is also wrong. Real mature cheddar has complex, sharp flavors from aging. Cathedral City slices taste uniformly mild and slightly artificial because the processing and added ingredients mask any real cheese character. You're paying premium prices for processed cheese products that are nutritionally inferior to real cheese, wrapped in environmentally destructive packaging and marketed as quality British cheese. If processed cheese food wrapped in plastic waste shocked you, wait until you see how this next brand has made British people forget how to cook the simplest traditional food. Number 4. Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire Puddings. At number 4, Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire Puddings. The frozen puddings convinced British families they didn't need to make proper ones from scratch. Yorkshire puddings traditionally contain 4 ingredients: flour, eggs, milk, and salt. Aunt Bessie's contains over 15 ingredients, including dried egg, dried skimmed milk, raising agents, vegetable oils, and emulsifiers. The puddings are pre-cooked, frozen, and designed to be reheated. This means they're cooked twice, destroying texture and creating that slightly rubbery consistency frozen Yorkshire puddings have. Real Yorkshire puddings are crispy outside, soft inside. These are uniformly dense and chewy. The problem here is the sheer laziness Aunt Bessie's encourages. Making Yorkshire puddings from scratch takes 10 minutes of active work. Mix 4 ingredients, pour into hot oil, and bake. That's it. Aunt Bessie's convinced people that this is too difficult, and the price is insulting. A pack of 12 frozen puddings costs around £2.50. The ingredients to make 12 fresh ones cost under £1. You're paying 2.5 times more for inferior, ultra-processed versions of something that's genuinely simple to make properly. The vegetable oils used include palm oil and rapeseed oil, heated during manufacturing to temperatures that create trans fats and oxidized compounds. You're eating degraded fats alongside your Sunday roast, but lazy convenience food is nothing compared to what this next brand is doing to children. What you're about to discover will make you furious. Number 3. Capri Sun. Coming in at number 3, and this is where it gets genuinely shocking. Capri Sun. The iconic juice pouches are marketed to children as fun, convenient drinks for lunchboxes and after school. A single Capri Sun pouch contains 11 grams of sugar. That's nearly 3 teaspoons in one tiny drink marketed to children. The pouch is designed to be consumed in minutes, meaning children get a massive sugar spike followed by an energy crash. Here's what makes this particularly insidious. Capri Sun markets itself as containing real fruit juice. The label says, "Made with real fruit." What it doesn't prominently display is that it's only 12% fruit juice. 88% is water and added sugar. The ingredients list water, sugar, fruit juice from concentrate, citric acid, and natural flavorings. That's fundamentally sugar water with a splash of reconstituted juice. The natural flavorings are chemical compounds designed to intensify fruit taste without using actual fruit. You know how Capri Sun tastes more intensely fruity than actual fruit juice? That's artificial flavor enhancement. Real orange juice tastes mild and natural. Capri Sun orange tastes like concentrated orange candy because it's designed to be hyperpalatable. The problem here is targeting children specifically. The packaging is designed for small hands. The marketing uses bright colors and fun imagery. Parents trust it because it says fruit juice, while not realizing they're giving children sugar. Bombs that contribute to childhood obesity, dental decay, and poor nutrition habits. Capri Sun has been banned or restricted in some schools because of its sugar content, yet it remains one of the UK's best-selling children's drinks because parents don't read the label carefully. If sugar water marketed as fruit juice to children made you angry, the mechanically recovered chicken paste in this next freezer staple will make it worse. Number 2. Bird's Eye Chicken Dippers. Coming in at number 2, Bird's Eye Chicken Dippers. The freezer staple that's been in British homes for decades, marketed as convenient kids' food. Chicken dippers contain 58% chicken. That means 42% is coating made from breadcrumbs, starches, vegetable oils, and additives. You're eating more breading than chicken, and the chicken itself is mechanically recovered. Mechanically recovered chicken is a paste created by blasting chicken carcasses with high-pressure water to remove every scrap of meat from bones. This paste gets formed into nugget shapes coated in a breadcrumb mixture and frozen. The coating is designed to be addictive. The combination of refined carbohydrates, salt, and fat creates that crispy texture children love while providing almost zero nutrition. Each dipper contains excessive sodium and saturated fat from the frying oils used during manufacturing. You know how chicken dippers have that unnaturally perfect shape? Like they're too uniform to be real pieces of chicken? That's because they're not. They're reformed chicken paste molded into identical shapes for consistent cooking and packaging. The problem here is that Birds Eye markets these specifically to children as fun, easy meals. Parents serve them regularly, thinking they're providing protein, not realizing they're giving children ultra-processed meat paste with more breading than chicken. And at number 1, the absolute worst ultra-processed food brand sold in UK supermarkets. What's in these? Burgers barely qualifies as food at all. Number 1, Rustler's microwavable burgers. Rustler's burgers contain approximately 20% beef. The rest is mechanically recovered meat paste, beef fat, water, soy protein, starches, and binders. This isn't ground beef formed into patties. This is meat slurry with chemicals forming it into a burger shape. The beef comes from the cheapest sources, often intensive feedlots. The quality is so poor that it requires heavy seasoning and chemical flavor enhancers to be remotely palatable. The patty tastes of added smoke flavoring and salt, not beef. The bread is industrial foam made with the Chorleywood process, containing flour, water, yeast, and dozens of chemical improvers, emulsifiers, and preservatives. It has the texture of a sponge because it's been chemically manipulated to stay soft for months. The cheese isn't cheese, it's processed cheese food made from cheese scraps, emulsifiers, and vegetable oils. The sauce is mostly modified. Starch, water, and artificial flavorings. Nothing in a Rustler's burger is real food. A single burger contains over 3 grams of salt, half your daily limit. The fat content exceeds 20 grams, mostly saturated and trans fats. The sugar content is surprisingly high, even though it's a savory product. The nutritional value is negative. Rustlers provide calories but zero beneficial nutrients. No fiber, minimal vitamins, and no meaningful protein despite being marketed as meat. Just empty calories loaded with salt, fat, and chemicals. A nutritionist analysed Rustlers for me and said, "These have no place in any diet. They're nutritionally bankrupt, loaded with sodium and additives. Regular consumption significantly increases risks of obesity, heart disease, and metabolic problems." If you want actual food instead of ultra-processed laboratory creations, here are 4 brands worth buying. Number 1. Piper's Crisps. Piper's makes real crisps the way crisps should be made. Actual potatoes sliced and fried in high-quality oils with minimal ingredients. No reconstituted paste, no chemical flavorings, no MSG. The ingredient list is transparent: potatoes, sunflower oil, salt, and natural seasonings. That's it. The Anglesey sea salt variety literally contains 3 ingredients. Compare that to Pringles' 15-plus ingredient chemical cocktail. Piper sources potatoes from British farms and lists the farm names on their website. Full traceability from field to packet. The potatoes are hand-cooked in small batches, creating irregular shapes and varied textures because they're real food, not manufactured products. The flavour comes from real ingredients. The cheddar and onion uses actual aged cheddar powder and dried onions, not cheese and onion flavouring. You can taste the difference immediately. Available in Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Ocado, and independent retailers. A bag costs around £2, double what Pringles cost. But you're getting real food made by a company that cares about quality, not engineered addiction. Now, if you want yogurt that's actually yogurt instead of chemical-thickened sugar bombs, here's what to buy. Number 2. Yeo Valley Organic Yogurt. Yeo Valley makes real yogurt from organic milk without the sugar bombs and thickeners that Miller uses. Their natural yogurt contains 2 ingredients: organic milk and live cultures. That's what yogurt should be. The organic certification means cows are pasture-fed on grass, not kept indoors eating grain. No routine antibiotics, no growth hormones. The farms meet strict animal welfare standards. The natural yogurt is tangy because it's properly fermented without added sugar, masking the flavour. If you want sweetness, add fresh fruit or honey yourself. At least then you control the amount and know exactly what you're eating. Yeo Valley's fruit yogurts exist too, but with half the sugar Miller uses. A strawberry yogurt contains 12 grams of sugar versus Miller's 20 grams. Still sweet enough to enjoy, not candy-level sweet. The texture is thinner than Miller's because it doesn't contain modified cornstarch or artificial thickeners. Real yogurt is supposed to be pourable. If it's thick and gelatinous, it's been artificially thickened. Available in all major supermarkets. Natural yogurt costs around £2 for 500 grams. Fruit yogurt's around £1.50 for 4 pots. Comparable pricing to Miller, but infinitely better quality. And for sausages that contain actual meat instead of mechanically recovered paste, there's only one choice worth making. Number 3. Organic Valley Organic Hardwood. Smoked uncured ham. And for meat that's actually meat instead of mechanically recovered paste, there's only one choice worth making. Organic Valley Organic Hardwood. Smoked uncured ham contains 100% pork from organic, outdoor-reared British pigs. No water pumped in to increase weight, no mechanically recovered meat, no chemical additives, just proper ham from pigs raised humanely. The pigs live natural lives on British farms with access to outdoor space, rooting in soil and seeing daylight. No intensive indoor farming, no antibiotic-laced feed, no overcrowded facilities. The organic certification guarantees strict animal welfare standards. You can see and taste the difference immediately. This ham has proper texture, visible meat grain, and that slightly irregular appearance real meat has. It's not uniform pink paste molded into shapes, it's actual sliced pork from whole muscles. The ingredient list is transparent. Organic. Pork, sea salt, organic cane sugar and celery powder. 4 ingredients, all recognizable as actual food. The uncured label means it uses celery powder for preservation instead of synthetic sodium nitrite, though the effect is chemically similar but from natural sources. The sodium content is 1/3 of processed ham brands. The fat is natural pork fat, not added oils and emulsifiers. You're eating real food that nourishes rather than an industrial product that merely fills. The ham is hardwood smoked using traditional methods, not artificially flavored with liquid smoke chemicals. This creates an authentic smoky flavor that tastes natural, not chemical. I get it. You're standing in the supermarket, overwhelmed, wondering how to identify ultra-processed garbage among thousands of products. Once you know what to look for, it takes 30 seconds. Pick up the product, turn it over, read the ingredients list. If it's longer than 5 ingredients for a simple product, something's wrong. Real sausages don't need 12 ingredients. Real yogurt doesn't need 8. Scan for words you can't pronounce. Methylcellulose, carboxymethylcellulose, mono and diglycerides are ultra-processed additives. Real food doesn't need them. Check for modified anything. Modified starch, modified oils, modified proteins. These ingredients have been chemically or physically altered from their natural state. That's ultra-processing. Look for hydrolyzed proteins, autolyzed yeast extract, or anything ending in O's beyond simple sugar. These are MSG derivatives, and hidden sugars used to create addictive palatability. Check the sugar content per 100 grams. Over 15 grams is high, over 25 is very high. Miller Corner contains 40 grams per 100 grams. That's candy, not yogurt. For meat products, check the meat percentage. Anything below 70% means you're eating more filler than meat. Richmond, at 42%, is mostly water and breadcrumbs. Scan for emulsifiers and stabilizers. These chemicals exist to blend ingredients that naturally separate or to create textures that don't occur naturally. Real cheese melts naturally. processed cheese needs emulsifiers, check for artificial or natural flavorings. Natural flavoring doesn't mean it came from nature, it means chemically identical compounds created in labs. Real food tastes of itself, not added flavorings. Look at the ingredient order. Ingredients are listed by weight, heaviest first. If sugar appears in the top 3, you're buying a sugar product, regardless of what's on the front of the package. Compare fresh to processed versions. Fresh chicken breast has 1 ingredient: chicken. Chicken dippers have 15 ingredients. The difference is ultra-processing. Once you know these patterns, spotting ultra-processed food is instant. You'll walk past entire aisles recognizing them as industrial products, not food. So what do you think? Have you been feeding your family ultra-processed laboratory creations, thinking they were convenient food? Are you shocked by how little actual food is in the products you've trusted for years? Drop a comment below. Which brand are you ditching first? And if this just saved your family from years of ultra-processed garbage, share it. Send it to anyone still buying Rustlers, thinking it's a reasonable meal. Your friends feed their kids Capri Sun, thinking it's fruit juice. Anyone who deserves to know what they're actually eating. The food industry has spent decades perfecting products that barely qualify as food while marketing them as normal, convenient, and affordable options. You don't have to accept it anymore.